Hello, my name is Jojo Hardtack, and I have been to quite a few music festivals, but today I'm here to tell you 6 reasons why you shouldn't go to your first music festival. For all of my current subscribers, I'm sure you're thinking right now, what the heck is he doing? Don't worry, just sit tight. I think the video will surprise you. Because in this video, I am going to talk about 6 reasons that you might not enjoy a music festival, but I'm also going to give a couple tips of ways that you can avoid them through attending different festivals or just doing different things. So like and subscribe, because these are the bass vlogs where we love to talk about EDM, dubstep, music festivals, and concerts and music in general. Now let's get into the video. So when I was making this video, I spent a lot of time focusing on things I didn't like about music festivals, and especially things that I didn't like about my first festival before I got used to the culture. And the number one thing that came to mind was the crowds. If you're not comfortable with big crowds, you might struggle at a music festival. Bonnaroo is the biggest event I've ever attended. It was just this last year in 2018, and there was over 80,000 people there at one time. And I'm not going to say that I struggle with anxiety, because I know that that's a problem that a lot of people have. And it's something that should be taken very seriously. But what I can say is there are levels to the shit. Because
I don't think that I have major problems with anxiety.
But when you're in a crowd of 80,000 people, if you don't have major problems with anxiety right then, you're a Super Saiyan, and congratulations to you on, reaching a higher level of human confidence. Because I left a part of my soul in that crowd. Like, not because they stole it from me, but because I put it on the ground and then I couldn't find it later, and then I freaked out and ran out of the crowd. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the event. I'm actually going back this year. So don't get me wrong. It's not a bad experience, but those crowds, you gotta be ready for it. And a few tips. I don't want to discourage you from attending one of these events, so I did want to
give out a few tips and tricks
of ways that I have dealt with anxiety in big crowds. For one is, of course, super basic. You can stay towards the back, and then you don't have to deal with that big crowd. I know it sounds lame, but if you have problems with anxiety, that is a great way to deal with that problem. And most stages have sound quality that is built so that you can still experience good sound quality and good visuals, even if you are towards the middle or the back of the crowd. Number 2, avoid certain party favors and or alcohol or caffeine, things that are going to make you more anxious. 3, go to smaller festivals. Now, I am not talking about only going to some little backyard party or something like that. There are festivals of 2,000, 5,000, even 10,000 people that are going to have a lot more space, a little bit more free roam, to not be clustered by huge groups of people. Whereas when you have a place like Bonnaroo, everyone wants to be as close to the artist as possible, and people crowd in like crazy. So also, there is the last option, which I would not recommend to anyone, and that is to go to shows and events, or I guess festivals, that have seating arrangements. That way you are guaranteed a certain amount of space. I don't like that, but if you do, more power to you. Reason number 2. If you are uncomfortable with lights, reason number 2 is probably the most important reason, just because it includes some medical awareness. If you have any major issues with epilepsy or seizures or things like that, then you should seriously consider the fact that there will be a lot of light shows and lasers and things like that at music festivals. I think a lot of them are like doing specific things to try to avoid that becoming a major issue. But I know most websites I've seen actually have a warning to people who have problems with visuals and going into like epileptic problems. So definitely take that seriously. I really don't have any specific tips for that one just because of the fact that I am not a medical professional and don't know all that much about epilepsy except for the fact that if you get the lights in your face and they flicker and stuff, it can mess with you. So I'm sorry I don't have any information for that. But if you go to WebMD, I'm sure they'll have some tips for you. And I bet sunglasses would help. I think, is that a thing? Is that a thing? I wish Wook Doctor was here so we could talk about whether sunglasses would help. Anyway, number 3 thing that will make you not enjoy music festivals, reasons not to go, are if you don't know how to pace yourself with alcohol, or if you do choose to get involved in those sort of things, party favors, don't go to a music festival. Most music festivals are either 2, 3, or 4 days. I've heard of a couple out there that are 5 days, which that is a marathon, bro. That's just crazy. And as everyone says, as you walk around music festivals,
It is a marathon, not a sprint.
you are partying, whether that be physically partying, whether that be partying through alcohol, whether that be partying through other means. You are partying for several days, which a normal person would only party for 1 day, sometimes 2 days if you're doing a long weekend party. And so you have to be prepared for the physical wear and tear that that's going to leave on your body, and you don't want to leave it all out in the field on the first day. Just like you don't want to leave it all on the field on the first play of a football game. You got 4 quarters, buddy. Like you can't be gassed already. So definitely try to manage your energy, manage your finances, manage really everything, even your sleep schedule, all throughout the earlier days of the event. So if you can't pace yourself, music festivals may not be for you. All right, and number 4.
This one is specifically for camping festivals, so if you're thinking about going to a camping festival and you're trying to decide whether you're gonna camp, which is awesome, or whether you're gonna be in a hotel, which is lame,
then you should consider your sleep. If you're one that is a super light sleeper, definitely might want to avoid camping music festivals. They tend to be louder. And especially if you're not sleeping well, as I mentioned in the previous reason why not to go, if you're not sleeping well, you're going to be low on energy. You're going to be dragging the last couple days, and your friends are going to be looking at you like, what's wrong? And you're just going to be like, I just want to go home. And that's a reason you will not have a good time. So as far as sleep is concerned, there are a few recommendations I have. Number 1, every music festival I attend, I bring melatonin. It helps me go to sleep. It's a pretty natural sleep aid. It is kind of habit forming. It's not like addictive, but you like need it to fall asleep if you take it too often. But during a festival, you really shouldn't have a problem with it if that's the only time that you take it. Also, a lot of people like to bring earplugs. I don't like to bring earplugs because I usually set an alarm to wake me up. And if you have earplugs, then sometimes your alarm doesn't wake you up. And you're just darned if you do, darned if you don't. And the other option is a lot of people use quiet camping. A lot of major festivals have a quiet camping spot. I have heard rumors that quiet camping doesn't always work because the quiet camping rules aren't always very well policed as far as making sure everyone's quiet. So you got to be careful about that. And of course, your best option of all, if you want a quiet place to sleep, is to sleep in an alternative location like a hotel or someone's house. Number 5 is probably the one I want to stress the most. If you are made easily uncomfortable by people who are different than you probably won't like music festivals. Things that I see pretty regularly at music festivals, I'm not saying that any of these things are wrong or inappropriate. Obviously, this is why I go, because I enjoy these things. But at a music festival, you will see people dressed as the opposite gender. You will see people who identify as the opposite gender. I say those two separately because some people do it because they think that it's funny, whether or not you believe that's appropriate or not. And then there's other people who are dressed as the gender they identify as. And then there are people of different sexualities. There are people who have different sexual tendencies. Like you'll see girls with ropes around their necks and guys dragging them around like dogs and stuff. You'll see people with whips and chains and stuff, and it's hard to understand because sometimes they're just outfits and costumes. Sometimes it's a way of life. Then you'll see guys wearing feathers and really frou-frou stuff that you wouldn't expect to see. You'll see me wearing pink all the time. I just rainbow every single time. And you you have to get used to those things, and you have to address those things appropriately because those people came to that event to be themselves. It is a place that everyone can be who they want to be. And I think most people are cool about it, but some people would not be appreciative of you insulting their specific way of dressing, their specific lifestyle, their specific relationship with their girlfriend, their specific dress, they're just everything. You cannot imagine the things that you'll see at some music festivals until you're there. And that's what is so beautiful about them. And I am not going to give you a tip on how to deal with that or how to be okay with it, because I think that just comes with time. But just be as respectful of everyone as possible, because a festival is your place to be yourself and to enjoy music and art and time with people, and you just gotta love it. The sixth way that you will have a bad time at a music festival is if price gouging upsets you. Price gouging does upset everyone, but I know I see a lot of people who let it get into their heads. Basically at a music festival, you can expect the prices of pretty much everything to be a lot higher than they would be in your hometown, whether that be alcoholic beverages, whether that be clothing, whether that be hot dogs, whether that be just food in general, really anything. Or especially products at the general store. Definitely don't leave any of your stuff at home, because you can pay $60 for a cooler at that spot. And don't let those things upset you. If you're the person who left their sunscreen at home and you have to pay $12 for a $3 thing of sunscreen, don't let that ruin your day. Don't let that ruin your vibe, because it's just a fact. Best ways to avoid that are bring everything from home. Pretty much every festival I've been to, you can bring your own food in. You can bring your own supplies in, so that you don't have to worry about. The other thing that some festivals will allow you to bring in your own alcohol. That is definitely not every festival. Most of festivals will allow you to bring it into the campsite areas. Not many festivals will allow you to bring it into main stage, but some do, so definitely check through the rules on that. And that can save you a lot of money if you bring your own from home. But those are some things that you might not like about music festivals. If you've never been to one, definitely consider those things before you decide to go to a music festival, because tickets vary from anywhere from $40 all the way up to $400, or even, $1,000 actually. And I wouldn't want to see any of you spend that money and then realize that most of all, you probably weren't prepared, but maybe for a few of you, it just wasn't for you and you didn't have a good time. So, much love. These are the bass vlogs, but we're not done yet. You're probably already not watching the video, but for those of you who stuck around, I did want to tell you some of my plans for this summer because even though I just listed 6 reasons to not go to music festivals, I'm still going to hella music festivals. I am definitely 100% going to Dance Festopia. Already bought a ticket. I am 100% going to Cosmic Kingdom. Already bought a ticket. I am probably going to Basewoods. Well, what did I just say? I'm going to Basewoods. What am I talking about? Probably going to Basewoods. Yeah, I'm going to Basewoods, bro. I don't have a ticket yet because they're not on sale. I'm like 95% going to Bonnaroo. I just got to confirm some things with the peoples that I'm going with. And outside of that, I'm pretty much down for whatever. So if you're going to a music festival that you think I should go to and you just want to be my camping buddy, just freaking tell me about it and I'll probably go.